Mom deserves the best, and there's no better place to shop for Mother's Day than Whole Foods Market. They're your destination for unbeatable savings, from premium gifts to show-stopping flowers and irresistible desserts. Start by saving 33% with Prime on all body care and candles. Then get a 15-stem bunch of tulips for just $9.99 each with Prime. Round out Mom's menu with festive rosé, irresistible berry chantilly cake, and more special treats. Come celebrate Mother's Day at Whole Foods Market.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The Knicks won a game. The Knicks won a game.
Ladies and gentlemen. It's ImmaLetYouFinish podcast.
Yes.
What's up, kids?
And it's Pearl Harbor Day, too. Drop a bomb on me.
Okay. It is me, Courtney, and we have Amy. We have a special guest today, Tammy Faye Starlite.
Hi.
We're coming to you from Canal Street Radio in partnership with Listening Party. Welcome. Follow those guys on everywhere you follow folks. They're on IG. They're on Facebook.
Or you
follow
can be
them,
like that
follow
guy
us.
who works here who's following us.
Yeah.
Like we're stealing things.
Follow
it's
us.
unbelievable.
The
You
Robert
know.
Smith guy?
The Robert Smith guy.
Yeah.
We're on everything. Make sure you follow us. Welcome, guys. Welcome to episode 9. We'd like to welcome our special guest, Tammy Faye, who's with us for the hour.
Right.
Thank you.
That's right.
Let's get
Well,
to it.
can I just want to
Yeah.
give a little explanation of
Yeah,
Miss
yeah.
Tammy Faye. For those
Oh.
of you who are cabaret deficient.
Who is it?
I mean, and I'm not referring to Willkommen and Welcome cabaret, though there's nothing wrong with a feel-good Jewish Holocaust musical.
I love Holocaust.
I
went to yeshiva 12 years, so I could say I love anything Holocaust.
I mean,
I've gotten hate mail from Jews.
And 'tis the season, to love a good
It is.
Jewish joke. But anyway, Tammy Faye Starlite is I became aware of Tammy Faye a whole bunch of years ago. We have some mutual friends. She was doing in her persona, she takes on personas, one of which is the great Marianne Faithfull, and she has done shows as Marianne. And you can't see Tammy Faye right now, but she looks nothing like Marianne, which is what's so amazing because she transforms into her. And she has done the Broken English record spectacularly. She's also done tributes.
Which is a brilliant record.
It is a brilliant
It's
record.
a brilliant record.
And she's done tributes to Nico. But what's great about the shows, other than the fact that you sing better than both of those women, and
I
they're
don't
both
think
great
so, but
singers,
thank you.
is that you're fucking funnier than shit.
Oh God, I hope I can measure up here.
Oh no! But Tammy, you told me this very funny story that when you were prepping for the Marianne Faithfull thing that you, I used to be on a TV show a million years ago.
Oh yes.
And Marianne had been on the show, so.
Yeah, it was 4 on the Floor, the VH1 with you and Anthony DeCurtis
Oh my God, I
and Scott
forgot
Wilson
about 4
Bryant
on the
and
floor.
JD Concert.
I was a basic cable star, Courtney.
It was so great because my friend James Gavin, who's a writer, has all these bootlegs and tapes. Tapes that dates me. He has CDs, which also dates me. Of live
Mimeograph. He has mimeograph.
He has stencils of like Marianne Faithfull from every TV appearance. Like she was on Tom Snyder, or when
Right.
she was on Jules Hollander. But
She was on heroin.
on heroin. There you go. I can't believe I made a Grover voice right now. But she did your show 4 on the Floor, and what stunned me was that she seemed to be something seemed to have gone wrong for her that day because she just wasn't having it, and somehow everything that you said she would negate and then say it as if she thought of it herself.
It's the story of my life, Tammy. It's the story of my
only
life.
one she seemed to respect was Scott when she started to say.
Well, every
about-
white British woman fears a black gay man. You know that.
She said about drugs. Well, don't you think it has something to do with controlling the poor? And he said, okay, well, just don't. If we're gonna get into that, she's like, all right, you're right. Never mind.
Anyway, so Tammy, we will talk a little bit more about Tammy.
Okay,
and
we have
Kurt
breaking
and
news.
Breaking news. What?
Anthony Joshua just won back all of his belts in his big rematch with Ruiz in
Can anyone-
Saudi Arabia.
All right.
And I'm very
We
happy
have
he's
no idea.
now
Who
got.
is that?
I'm a big boxing fan. And so there was a
You
big.
are the straightest gay man
so
I've
there's-
ever met in my.
so-
and I say that I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm a huge boxing fan. And normally the fights are late at night, but this fight is taking place. They chose Saudi Arabia for some reason for
So
the
they
big
could
rematch.
chop off the head of the person
And-
that
Right.
loses.
Or
And-
because of the guy who just maybe as
Revenge for the guy who just
Revenge,
shot up
yeah.
the
So
Navy
or
base.
a peace offering.
Yes.
So the fight was at 3:45, and I was invited to a fight party. I was like, "Fuck, I can't. I gotta go to the show." But I just got my breaking news. So Anthony, congrats, Anthony Joshua. Woo woo. Okay.
The sound you hear is me and Tammy trying to give a fuck.
Zero
Yeah.
fucks. I'm like,
Yeah,
the zero
zero
fucks have
fucks.
fallen from
Zero
the ceiling.
fucks.
The zero fucks have fallen.
I know what you can give me for Christmas. Some fucks, so I can give them back.
because I have zero. Okay, so let's.
But
let-
there's that guy that you like that
He'll be
circles
Oh,
around.
no.
Don't
Let me
jinx
just
him.
t-
Don't
No,
jinx
I
him.
won't, I
Don't.
won't.
All right.
No,
no,
I'm
we're in
summoning.
love. We're getting married
I know.
on my
and-
birthday next year. It's gonna be
When is
amazing.
your birthday?
July 31st.
Wait, I'm July 30th.
Oh my! Come on, Leo.
Oh, hello,
Come on,
July
Leo.
Leo, July
Come on,
Leo, right?
The real Leo.
Like
we leave
J-Lo,
it in. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I'm sorry.
And
Okay.
Mick Jagger. Okay,
You know.
sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start this out. Billie Eilish has some. Is having a bit of an
All right.
a moment right now.
First off, you know that the world has entered into a parallel universe when I, a woman of a certain age, find myself fighting with people on the interwebs defending a child who I literally could be her grandmother.
Right.
But here's the thing. If for those of you who've been reading it, Billie Eilish, first off, I think Billie Eilish is fucking great.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I mean, it's not music made for us, but that said, I can listen
But it's
to
good
it.
music.
It's good music.
And that's the thing.
So she was on one of those white guy shows. I don't know,
think it was
Jimmy
Jimmy Kimmel.
And it was one of these, hey, you're 17. Let's, do you know who this person is? Do you know who that person is? And asked her if she knew who Van Halen was. And she went, And everybody exploded, oh my God, how could she not know who Van Halen was? Number one, that you don't know who Sammy Hagar is, to me, is proof of good parenting.
I think so. That they kept that away from her. And Gary Sharon.
Oh, no, was he in Van Halen?
Yeah, briefly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The More Than This guy?
Yes.
Yes.
The extreme.
Extreme.
The not Nuno Betancourt.
Yeah,
we
'cause
just gotta
Nuno
ignore
Betancourt is the
Dave,
other-
who was like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So, so to me, I am a huge fan of having cultural context. I work with young people, and it drives me nuts when you mention somebody and they look at you with and crickets are going throughout the room. But I thought it was sort of a cheap shot. First off, she obviously knows music. She talked about growing up in a house where she heard hip hop and she heard jazz and she's homeschooled first, so we know that there's issues going on there too.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a cheap shot and a bunch of old white guys getting upset that this girl who is 17 years old. When's the last time Van Halen had a hit?
Well, this is what I was going to say about that. You know, why would you get mad at it? First of all, radio plays 5 songs.
Right.
These young people do not listen to the radio.
At all.
And what's presented to we had magazines, right? So we grew up, even if there was shit that
Well,
I
they
did not
played
listen.
videos on MTV.
Well, and the thing is, I had stacks of magazines that I bought on a weekly and monthly basis growing up for years.
Yep.
And they were all the fanzines. So even if there was an artist that I might not particularly listen to, I ran across them somewhere. And then radio was so different. You would play the playlist was so much bigger. Why would this 17-year-old, honestly,
right,
why would she know?
Whose brother, all right, maybe her brother is like 23, 24.
Again, not the demo
but it
from
was
a Van Halen
well,
fan.
like I said, what pissed me off, though, because I could think of a million groups or a million black artists. Would people get up in arms because she doesn't know who Anita Baker is? Oh, she sold a ton of fucking records.
It's
but,
true.
So everybody was flipping out. I will say that the other day I was teaching. I'm using air quotes here when I say teaching. My college students, and we were reading a Sylvia Plath poem because I like to end the semester with a complete and total bummer. On an upbeat.
On an up
and
note.
and we were reading the Daddy, which
Oh,
is,
right.
yeah, the really feel good poem. And I said, I often preface things like, and you guys know. And this time I said, and you guys know, about the Holocaust. And literally half the class went,
They don't know?
not so much.
But you think about how all of that stuff is taught in school. Even
I mean,
the way,
when's the last time the Holocaust had a hit? How are they supposed to know the Holocaust?
but here's the thing. You think about the way the Holocaust and slavery is taught in school. It's almost like a one-day
It was
lesson
done.
in history. Very sort of
but my
like...
point
I
is,
went to
like-
yeshiva on the Upper first on the Upper
Every
West
time
Side, then
you
the Upper
say
East
that,
Side.
I just first off, I have to say you've done an amazing job of passing all these years, and I
Thank
applaud
you.
and I applaud you for it.
You know, it's
As a self-hating Jew, I applaud you for
Well, you
that.
could pass.
Oh, I know, I have. That's
Is
what
that
I'm
a-
saying.
is
That's
that
a
like-
self-hating Jew.
Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like the thing in the black community when
Yes.
they say pat?
Yes.
You guys have that same thing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that like a goal for people?
I mean, when it is given to you, you don't refuse it.
Yeah. It's like I had
Like Dick.
a German friend. Oh, that,
Oh, look, there he is.
yeah. No, this German woman once said to me, she said, "You're Jewish, but you don't have any Jewish features."
Oh,
I
man.
love.
He's
well,
back
I love
again.
that.
Robert Smith's
Oh,
coming
Robert
around the
Smith's
corner.
got-
Robert Smith's
This
coming
guy
around
with
the
like
corner.
kind of a stick-up.
I love
mullet and-
I love the characters that work here though. It's quite
No, it's
interesting.
quite
I like
entertaining.
this space. It's a really good
But my
time.
point about the Holocaust,
Yeah,
other
yeah.
than my goal now to bring
Right.
the Holocaust into every part of this conversation, was that I think that the interwebs in the world, we should be a little more concerned that we have a generation of students who might not know what the Holocaust or really are not quite clear about Martin Luther King than whether Billie fucking
But
Eilish
here's the thing,
knows
right?
Jump.
And I've said this, and I really do believe it. Now
And I
that
like Van Halen. Do you like Van Halen?
I like David Lee Roth.
I like
Van
David
Halen.
Lee Roth.
I like tissue.
A Jew.
I like to
Yes,
hear.
exactly.
The
A
thing-
Jew.
the
Who hung
thing
out
is-
at Sidewalk in the I think
Just
in
a
the, in the
Gigolo?
90s.
Was it? Oh, I thought-
you know.
California Girls.
Was it?
When he was,
Yeah.
remember when he was arrested at in Washington Square
For
Park
buying weed.
for like a
yeah.
nickel bag or
Wasn't
something.
everybody
like
arrested in Washington
But you're
Square
not
Park?
David Lee
No.
Roth. You shouldn't. You should be able to get your weed delivered if you're David Lee Roth.
This is true.
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
But anyway.
You know, it's really interesting, with this whole back to Billie Eilish and this. I find that now that everybody walks around with the computer in their pocket,
Yeah.
no one seems to know anything, and it's really easy to find it, especially when it comes to
Nobody
music.
knows
And it's really interesting that
anything.
it's everything, especially with the young people, what's current.
It's also what's directly in front of their face.
Absolutely, and
They
so
have-
much is being thrown at them, right? Everything is. YouTube is very different now. Like I spend a lot of time on there doing research, doing stuff, and
Porn.
not on YouTube, girl. I can give you my porn sites if you want to know which ones I go to.
I think she does one.
Because I told you they wanted me to star in Dads and Lads, and I was like,
Oh,
sweetie,
that sounds good.
I was like, I only have one ab, and y'all shooting 4K. This is not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Dads and lads.
Because when you get to be a certain age, you have to play like. Now my role would be, I want to be the young newborn one, but they're like, you're the coach,
Oh,
you're
I
the
see.
father.
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
so it's dads, and
Yeah,
then
but the guys in the porn are allowed to have a little. I've heard that
Yeah.
they're allowed to have a little more pooch going on.
It depends on what company you work for, but that's a whole
We are
other
going
story.
so left
Yeah,
at
we are
this
going so
point.
left. We're going. Hi, shout out to our porn star listeners. We love you. Send free product. Yeah, it's just weird to me that they walk around with computers in their pocket and nobody presses a button to actually go back and learn anything different. But they're marketed to. So that's what I was saying. YouTube. I was watching a clip of something the other day. And now, it used to be your clip would just play all the way through and you got the advertising at
Right.
the bottom. That clip stopped 3 different times for commercials
Yep.
in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, you guys are really like taking this and really
That's
shoving
why they make you
advertising.
get red.
Yeah.
They make you. I said I wasn't going to do it,
And then you finally
I'm
was just like, I can't do
I
it,
don't
all
even
the
watch
ads.
it. I only watch it to watch old match games
Right.
that are not on the game show network.
Yeah.
What's the really good Jew on that show?
Well,
Brett Summers.
She was
Brett
not
Summers.
a
used to
Jew.
love Brett Summers.
She's
Who
not a
doesn't?
Jew though. She was
What?
married to a Jew.
Oh.
Yeah, she was from Maine.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
That's
she's
some
passing
bullshit.
in
You know, there's
reverse.
so
Married
many-
to Jack
there are so
Klugman.
many people going to listen to this and be like, who's Brett Summers?
Google it.
Those
Yeah.
are those people. See, this is why I used to love the 70s because, like, I grew up watching Dinah Shore and Mike Douglas. There were all those people who
She
kind of.
wasn't a Jew, but she was a lesbian, right?
No,
I think-
actually, that's the thing.
think-
She was not a lesbian.
Yeah, she was
She wasn't.
like
And it's-
Hillary Clinton.
That weekend. I'm so done. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We
for
said no
listening.
politics. We said
That-
no.
Oh,
No,
right.
Hillary
No, no.
Clinton just.
Hilarious.
No, she just did an
I
interview
know.
where she
Wait,
denied
right.
being
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Just
Tammy.
or Oprah.
We're gonna make you go
Right.
sit.
That's true. They've been calling Oprah and Gail lesbians for so long, and they're like, Oprah's like, I would have told you if I was a lesbian. I've told you everything else,
That's
and I
true.
believe that. And here's the thing: I've seen her and Stedman together, and not together when everybody's paying attention. Together, I know fake couples. I've been around fake couples and real ones, and it was the way he was touching her. the way when the
Like,
lights
please don't fall because
No,
you're my
yeah.
paycheck.
no, the way that when they were sitting in the theater and it was a night, and I was a couple of rows behind him, and he had his arm around her the whole time. And her head was on his shoulder. I was like, they're a real couple.
All right, this is way too much
Anyway.
kindness. Get back to people don't listen to us to hear about
Yes, they do. They
kindness.
do like the kindness.
No, we're not
They
kind.
do. We're not kind. All right, so let's talk about the Grammy nominations. They came out. That's great. So now,
Okay, but
See,
anyway.
when I listen to you guys, your podcast, I feel so old and deficient because I don't know.
we
I
feel old and
barely
deficient
know.
as
Yo,
we're doing
trust
it.
me.
No.
We're making it's
I
all
mean,
smoke
I
and
get
mirrors.
so much music. It's all in there, and
Yeah.
some shit I just listen to. I'm like, I can't even listen. I can't do this.
Because it's so slow. Some of it is so slow. Where's
No.
that opening riff?
No, you
Where's
know what
the
it is?
opening riff
It's the
that-
American kids, right? The American pop kids are really in their feelings. The European pop kids and the Australian pop kids, for some reason, they're all happy and they're making really great up.
Because they
shake-
don't have
about
they
that?
don't
Shake
have
your ass
Trump.
record.
They
The
don't
one
have
that-
Trump
'cause
for president.
I-
They don't
well-
have Trump for
No, they have some of them. The English ones have Boris, but
And
they
that's a
didn't have-
mess over there. What's
Yeah.
going on?
But
you know.
there's that artist. What's her name? Tones and I, or
That dance monkey.
Oh,
she's
can I-
Australian, right?
That song.
And doesn't she have one of these kind of?
That song makes me want to crash my head
No.
through a window.
I thought it was just me because I was
No.
like, I've got to like.
Let
this
me
'cause
tell
this
you
is-
something. In the words of the only
that song makes me
Brit-
want to sleep with women.
No, that song
And
makes
that's
me
that's a
that song
bad
makes
way
me
to
want
go.
No, that song makes me, in the words of Mission of Burma, reach for my revolver and then aim it. That song is terrifying. I listen. All right.
Wait, and it's been #1 in the UK. Literally, it just broke some record. It just won't. It's been #1 since
everything
for
about
months,
that song, the
months.
song,
Nothing
the
has
video.
been able. Nothing has been able to knock it off.
No,
its perch.
it's like a Jerry Lewis
And I have a
telethon that
feeling-
won't end.
And now it's starting to happen here.
Do you
I
think
think
it
it's
all
gonna be a thing
started
here.
with Amy Winehouse, that voice, and because now everybody has, they have that voice.
No, but
and-
she had a
and
much stronger voice.
She
than
was a
that.
great
Yeah.
singer.
No,
I mean,
Yeah.
she's
to
a-
me, that
but
voice
it's-
is the kind of like I'm giving a blowjob, but I'm not really into it voice.
But even Billie Eilish has
The fast
and
lickers that I
fast-
call them.
no,
Billie
Billie
Eilish,
Eilish. I
she
read
was
a
talking
great
to-
description.
It was
No, I read a great description of Billie Eilish.
That
She
guy
is a singer for the
thinking you're that
AMSR
guy.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's doing AMSR.
Well,
that's what somebody said to me.
Well, you know what? The thing is, there's a lot of black girls out there singing with soul, but they don't really get the shine.
No,
Like,
it's AMSR.
So you know, yeah, it's all it is.
No.
It's like I'm wispy, wispy, my feelings,
right,
my
we're gonna-
feelings, my feelings.
Scared of.
My feelings,
No.
my
You guys
feelings,
don't
my
watch The
feelings.
Voice, do you?
No.
No.
See, that's why I'm a dork.
So do you want to go in? Do you want to talk about Ari and Summer and all of these kids?
Do you
Let's
know
say
the Ari?
something quick.
Do you know the Ari and Summer story?
No.
All right.
See, no. If you talk to me, Nina Garcia, the new Nina Garcia app game on Echo, where you can make choose an outfit and have Nina
Are you
Garcia.
still watching?
I sure
Project Red?
am
Oh,
with
okay.
Christian Siriano.
I am ashamed to say that Wednesday was it Wednesday night or
Thursday.
was it at 9:30? I kind of watched it too.
Oh,
I watch 90 Day Fiance. Do you
I
watch
know.
it? Do
I
you
know,
watch 90
you
We are not
mentioned
gonna do
it,
this
and I
again.
tried.
Oh my God,
I
I
tried
cannot with
for
this
like an
shit.
episode or two, but then I thought it's so obvious that their phone. I mean, there's no way that
No, it's real. It's on the Learning Channel.
I know.
Tammy.
I know. I'm trying. I know that there's a lot.
Do I have to
so
say
that, wait,
It's kinda
so
like
that
I know-
means it has to be real.
It's the Learning
Right,
Channel.
it's kind of
Which
like
means if
electric
it's already
company for
bullshit.
millennials.
It's
Yes.
Wasn't fucking that shit with Honey Boo Boo on the Learning Channel?
No,
Yes.
that was on something else.
Was that on?
No, wasn't the original one Toddlers and Tiaras on the Learning Channel?
I love toddlers.
Again,
because
I don't
that had
see
my,
your point. I don't
my
see your
favorite
point.
little toddler she's probably
Okay, I'm so
13
upset
now.
that you have a favorite toddler. From
No,
that
because
show.
of her name.
That's shameful.
Her name is
You should be
Miss
ashamed.
Eden Wood.
Oh,
her
I
name
remember
is
her.
Eden Wood. They gave her a porn name, and I'm looking
is
her up.
a
I was
very porn-
obsessed
That
with
is a porn
little
name.
Eden Wood.
Poor little Eden Wood.
You know?
All right, well, basically, yeah, let's skip Ari and Summer.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
you don't have to skip.
No,
her.
because really
Don't
what
come
it
to
is
me.
about these younger artists who are all kind of the pressures of this industry. You know, I think a lot of people think that you make a record, it's really easy
Two
to
cute guys just
sing
walked by,
on
by the way.
YouTube and
Two
stuff.
cute guys just
okay,
walked by.
great. Okay,
Just
but
letting you know.
I think that they're finding it really difficult to navigate what the music industry actually is.
And also,
you know?
there's a component that people didn't have. The component that people have to deal with now is the social media aspect. So
Yes, absolutely.
it's not like it's not enough that you go out and you make your music or you tour. Now you have to be accessible in a way that you didn't have to be accessible before. The music industry needs like almost like a studio system, like they did with the movies back in the day. Like they did, because I've always been of the opinion, and I'm not the only one to say this, that Amy Winehouse was not cut out to be a star. She was cut out to be an artist, and with all her other issues. But some of these girls they become fast so quickly because there's no artist development, and there's no touring, there's no touring, there's no artist development. And they become stars because of YouTube. They become stars because of videos and stuff like, self-promoted thing.
Yeah.
So there's no one kind of guiding them. They do a YouTube somebody picks up, and next thing you know, they have a hit.
Well,
And then somebody gives them a record deal,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
then the real pressure of, like, I found it really interesting that after Lil Nas X had his hit,
Right.
he was like, I need a break, and it was really one song that was a hit. I'm like, how would you actually handle an actual true album campaign, having multiple hits
Right,
from
what
an
if you
album,
were Elton
traveling
John?
around the world?
Luckily,
Like,
he didn't have to worry about that because he didn't do an album.
well,
He
the
didn't.
thing is,
Yeah.
I look at, like, just some of the artists I work with, and it's hard work.
Yeah.
Like, Beyonce's not is Beyonce because Rihanna is Rihanna because how they worked.
Right.
It is really difficult. It's not just looking pretty in a video. The amount of stuff you have to do on a daily basis to really maintain that career and be successful is difficult. And it's really interesting. Part of me is like, is it a young people thing? Because I noticed they're really different about adversity a little
Well,
bit.
I think it's a young. Well, first off,
And the
the
music industry is a lot
Listen,
of
the kids today, working with a lot of the kids today are of this like, what do you mean I have to turn the paper in? Oh, what do you mean I actually have to come to, they're very precious.
Right.
That's what I've heard from-
Even New York City kids, there's a degree of preciousness to it. But I
Right.
think when you
Well,
have
that's why you should teach at the Jewish schools where they're like got the paper in like early so that they can get
Yeah,
the
but then
early
they- but
admission
then-
to Harvard.
Oh,
and-
yeah, good point. Yeah, that's true. But then I'd actually have to know what I'm talking about. But I think with these kids, with the people like Ari or Summer or artists of, when you're doing a YouTube, when you're being discovered off of YouTube,
Yep.
you're controlling your career in a way, and knowing who is yesing and who's A&Ring you in the traditional
Well, it's not even a
sense.
career. A lot of times the kids are making tracks or they're singing a cappella. They
And
get
somebody
discovered.
finds it, right.
It's almost like the American Idol effect, right? You're on TV
Right.
Yeah.
doing this talent show, and somebody thrusts you and says, here's an album, you're a star. It's really difficult being famous. It's very difficult
I can't
making a record. It's very difficult promoting a record,
I
and it's
can't tell you
difficult
how
to go
many-
on tour.
What I'm saying, I can't tell
Yes.
you how many, when I work with high school kids, I'll say, who are you guys listening to now? And I like to stay a hip, keep
Right.
my finger on the pulse of the young people. They'll name these artists, and I'm like, okay, who is this person? And then you look, Little Tecca. Little Tecca was, bought a beat off Beats R Us for $30, and bing, bang, boom, and now he's a star.
Didn't that kind of start with, not that it started with, but that Rebecca Black?
Yes.
But then look what
Friday?
happened, and she's been trying to.
Yeah.
I believe there's a new song that she has now, but she's been known as that Friday girl.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all-
Right, and she got pegged into that thing. Listen, I had a really big back and forth with these young kids, and they were trying to tell me the way I thought about stuff was old. And I said, okay, great. Then here's a question for you. Who was the big artist and what was the big song 2 years ago? And none of them could answer it.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's the
actually, I
difference.
can't either.
I said, what you guys are doing is you're not creating your stars for the long term. I said, you can't even tell me who was big
Wait,
2 years
was
ago.
Formation 2 years ago?
Formation was 2016.
Was it?
I'm off
Yes,
by
it was. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but Formation was 2016.
Well, Bay years are different
You
than
know.
normal years.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's
just
Rihanna
beca-
years.
Rihanna
Rihanna,
years.
where is the fucking album?
She doesn't have to put out. She never has to put out a record. She just did an Instagram thing where she's putting on lip gloss, and I will buy that lip gloss even though I don't need lip gloss. She doesn't ever have to put out a record. She's the truly bulletproof star of
Well,
our time.
speaking
Also,
about-
from what
yeah.
I've heard,
Yeah.
that actually from Monster, BB Rexa sang the chorus of that.
What
Yeah.
song?
Monster.
Oh, really?
Which monster? What monster?
Her and Eminem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did she do it on the demo? Because BB's a writer, and wasn't
Yeah.
that back when BB was?
BB wrote-
BB wasn't. I don't think she was out as an artist yet, but she was writing a lot of
According
things
to
for a lot of
someone
people.
that I know, her
Mm.
mother So that she sang the chorus on that because Rihanna either was not up to it or didn't feel like it. But
Okay, Tammy, I just want to say
sorry.
this. There are
I don't
certain
need to tell
artists.
Right.
This is a safe space,
I
and you can
understand.
say what you want. But there are
understand.
certain artists that are beyond reproach, and
know,
Rihanna
and
is one of them.
Rihanna's
But wait,
great.
is Rihanna? She's not on. That's not the song. She's on All of the Lights on that album, right?
The Eminem
Monster.
No, she's on Monster.
I thought Monster was Nicki Minaj.
No.
and
She's not called Monster. It's another song. I know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
It is, it's not
Love the
Monster.
way
No,
you
but-
lie.
yeah, 'cause
Love the way
Oh,
you
yeah.
lie.
Oh yeah, that's the Eminem
could
sound.
be
I
the
was
one.
thinking of Kanye West
Yeah.
shits.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
let me
that
just tell you, there's
Are
only
you,
one
but
singer.
you're not Kanye.
Friendly, no. But there's only one singer that you can.
Let me just
our
tell you,
safe space.
except that I had no idea that the name of this fucking show came from the shit that Kanye did the night of the VMAs. 'Cause I was there that night. I was actually sitting next to him for a little while
my
that
God.
night. But that's a whole other.
Do you know
story.
when I saw that, I thought, he's right. I mean, like he shouldn't have done that, but Beyonce's video was better.
Well, I was sitting in her seat
Oh my God.
because she was on the red carpet, and right next to me was Kanye West and Amber Rose. I'll save that story
Yeah,
for another
it's a good-
time.
Oh my God.
But I was going to say, Tammy, there are
Yes.
certain singers that we hold sacrosanct in here.
Right.
The only singer that you may openly say anything disparaging about is Rita Ora.
Oh, I
I
heard
can't
that
stand
you.
Rita
Yeah.
Ora. I
I
cannot
don't even
stand
know
her.
what she
I don't
does.
know. I don't.
Thank you.
Does
Thank
she
you.
have
That's
anything-
the end of our
Thank
show.
you.
Thank you. Have a
Yeah.
great holiday.
She's on.
And she has another single out. But I wouldn't know if it's her new single because I couldn't name a Rita Ora song if you.
I don't know. I don't know what she's. I think I tried to like her once because if somebody is, if somebody's out on page 6 a lot when I used to read physical papers, that
Right.
that.
No, they're
Okay.
always like, Rita's here. And I'm like, why?
Why?
What does she
Yeah.
do?
We
Rita's
don't
a
know.
star.
We don't
Look,
know who she
Rita's
is.
wearing by flocken flocken by juken flocken. And I'm like, why?
Does
Who
she
is
have
she?
a makeup thing? Did she have?
I don't
She's very
know.
big in the Benelux countries, and she does advertisements in Greece.
She's number one in
Okay.
Tibet.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's number one in Tibet.
So-
she is a pinup girl in Guantanamo.
let's talk
Nobody
about some
knows.
actual music. Let's talk about some of the albums that have impacted us in life
Well-
and that we love and that
Well, I
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you really quickly. How did you decide to do Marianne and Nico? What drew you to that? Because that would be.
Well,
Because a
they-
lot of people, unfortunately, listening may not know who Marianne or Nico is. And then-
They don't. I mean.
right. How about
If
this
they're-
part? I forgot we had a guest. I'm like, how about we do the guest interview now?
Oh, no,
Before we
you
go-
don't- no, I don't mind.
No, real talk.
I
I was
don't-
like, oh yeah.
I know.
Bam.
I know
I-
because she's been
yeah.
here for the whole show. I'm like, oh, maybe we should actually ask.
You
Tammy
don't
some
have to. I
questions.
don't
No, actually,
mind.
we should.
No, 'cause
because I think because I have questions. I like you. I want to know. Okay, so you grow up. You realize, okay, I have this voice. I can sing. How do you come to that choice for Nico and Marianne?
Well, from different places because Marianne came from. I was such a huge. I became a Stones fan when I was 14, and that was after the Stones.
Where did you grow up?
Manhattan, Upper West Side.
Okay, cool.
Upper West Side Jewish liberal Democrat.
Right.
This Czech.
So were you going to a lot of shows at that time?
No, I didn't. My first show was at Madison Square Garden when I was 16, and it was the Jay Giles Band. And I flipped out. I loved it so
Right.
much. I hated the opener.
Freeze frame.
Yeah, that was it. I had the
Freeze frame.
centerfold.
Freeze. Yeah. My
That's a
blood
huge
runs
fight.
cold.
That's
Yeah.
a huge fight every year in the Hall of Fame about
Oh.
Jay Giles.
Yeah.
You know, they were great, and but the Stones, for some reason, I saw the emotional rescue video on Solid Gold.
I love
I
that
just
And I
played that
was-
album
I love that
yesterday.
song.
I was freaking out.
love
played
that
album
song.
Then I
yesterday.
got
So funny.
Tattoo You, which was the album
Oh,
at the
that's a
time,
great
and
one.
I
Yeah,
went
yeah, yeah.
crazy. And unlike Billie Eilish,
Mhm.
I decided I wanted to know who were their influences.
Right.
I
You
wanted
weren't
to know.
homeschooled. You weren't
No,
homeschooled.
I wasn't. I thought, and I saw that they liked Willie Dixon and John Lee Hooker, so
Right.
I went to see a concert with Willie Dixon and John Lee Hooker,
Wow.
and that's where I first saw
Wow.
Robert Cray. And
And your
so
whole world opened
my
up.
whole world opened up. So every satellite, like Graham Parsons,
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
learned
I love
from the
Graham
Stones,
Parsons.
and that led to Emmylou Harris, which led
I
to
love
country
her.
music,
Yeah, yeah.
and my obsession with country music, and then also Marianne Faithfull because she was Mick Jagger's girlfriend
Right.
from for 3.5 years
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So the first record I bought was A Child's Adventure, which came out in '83, I
Yeah.
believe, and there was a crack in her voice that
Yeah.
I absolutely loved. You
Yeah.
know, and I just thought, and I love. I didn't like sopranos. I'm not into the the Joan Baez.
You like somebody that has the tear in their
Yeah,
voice.
I like the-
You can tell they had some
you know,
living, some life has happened.
I know I'm wrong when I say I mean I don't like Joni Mitchell, and I know that that's wrong, but I can't help it.
I
You know,
love
it's
Joni
like,
Mitchell. Yeah.
It's like I liked Kathy Lee Gifford's A God Wink Christmas better than The Irishman, and I know that I'm wrong. I know it, but I can't help
Courtney.
it. And it was such a depressing special.
I'm choking. I'm literally choking on gum right now.
It's
Can we just
All
talk
right,
about for a quick
officially
second?
stop.
When,
Stop.
when Kathy Lee sings, it makes me.
that's
It
that's
is-
the worst
it's like-
sound in the world.
And the face she's always like, and you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening?
Oh my God! I was just
You
hoping
two
she
carry
wasn't.
on. I'm literally.
I can't with
I'm literally
but
gonna die.
Kathy Lee has so many things. One I even put into the Marianne Faithfull show, which was a story that she tells, and I use it in Marianne's, in her world. But there's a story about Kathy Lee telling her about when she and Frank,
The late Frank Gifford.
the great giant, Frank Gifford.
Well, he's a giant, so to me, that's always like, you're a legend.
Thank you.
know.
Hello.
Get it together, Giants.
I know. Please,
And
I
Knicks,
can't watch.
and Jets.
and
Knicks.
and Yankees.
Do we
don't
have-
blow
Right.
it.
Do
Right.
we have a soccer team? They probably suck.
Wait,
No,
the
we have
Cosmos.
two.
Oh,
We
they
have
were?
two.
Are they
Remember
okay?
Pele when he played for the Cosmos?
Oh, the Cosmos.
Yeah, but we have two now.
We have
Oh,
another
I
one.
don't. So
What
The
is
Red
it?
Bull.
The
The
Red
Red
Bulls,
Bulls.
and
The
we
Red
have the other
Bulls,
one
right.
now too. The something New York.
The White Claws. Yeah. Okay, so Kathy,
New
so
York.
Kathy Lee, right? When she and Frank would want to say that they were proud of Courtney, not
Cody.
Cody. I'm sorry, I'm looking at you and I'm
Because
thinking
she'd always be like Cody.
Cody and Cassidy.
With a K. With a K, right? Was it Cody
No,
with a
I
K?
know,
No, it
it's
was
two
with a C.
Cs.
It's with a
Okay.
C, yes.
Cody and Cassidy, they wouldn't say that they were proud of them. They'd say that they were growed of them, grateful and proud. And that story has stuck with me and my husband for all these years since, it's almost as good as when she asked Martin Short how his wife was doing when she had just died. That was, there's nothing better than Kathy Lee.
So
anyways, like, so-
Marianne.
Yeah,
Marianne
yeah.
came from the Stones, and
Okay.
I thought, okay, I can kind of imitate her voice.
Right,
Right.
right.
And Nico started when I read the book Edie when it came
Oh,
out,
oh,
and
that's such a
I
great book.
got
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the
yeah.
Velvet Underground, and then I heard this voice that sounded like this.
And you're like, I can do that.
I was like,
yeah.
and I would go around imitating her, and then after I was doing the fake evangelist since like the 90s, and then I decided, I'll just write something about Nico. So I wrote this play about Nico, and based on an interview that she did, which was so great because her interviews
Is that
were
the Australian
the
interview?
Australian one that you were mentioning, because everything it's complete non sequiturs.
Right.
She's barely answering the questions, and he's trying to keep her on track. So I
Right.
just thought I'll just take it just a tiny bit further. And
How was it the first time you got on stage?
as Nico,
Yeah.
oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It wa-
Where
I-
was it?
It was at Joe's Pub. That was,
Okay.
and that's where because I asked Bob Morales if he would represent me just for that show.
Right.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, don't you?" I said, "No, I want you," because I'd met him a few years ago. And
Did he also take you to see the Sex Pistols when you were 17 years old?
oh no,
I know.
I know.
It's
See,
okay.
I never saw this.
Smokes-
No, I did see
smokes-
that. I saw the reunion tour.
That works. I
Yeah.
can live with that.
So at Roseland, was it
I saw
Roseland
Eartha
or-
Kitt at Limelight. Does
Oh,
that
Oh
count?
my God!
I saw her at Limelight when she did her dance show with Where Is My Man? And then I saw there used to be a cabaret room in New York called Ballroom, and I believe Ballroom was on 28th
I remember
Street.
that. I remember that.
Between 8th and 7th, and I saw her cabaret show
Oh
there,
my
and
God,
it was
she was-
amazing.
I would love to see her.
I want to
Yeah.
ask. I want to ask
Yeah.
you something about that because it's you talk about cabaret and that's something that I think is kind of a New York thing, but a New York thing within a New York thing.
Yeah.
Talk about because you are for better or for worse described as a sort of a performance artist in some ways
Yeah.
and a cabaret star. What is cabaret?
I don't-
Explain that world to
I'm
us.
not. I'm not. There are people who are experts on cabaret and what it. How its origins but to me, it seems like it's just a very personal kind of you're talking with the audience and you're there with them, and it's not like
It's
a
like
rock
you're an
show.
audience with.
Yeah,
you know?
you're
Yeah,
an
yeah.
audience with, and so
Yeah.
you talk to the people. And so if I do it as a character, then I can talk to them as the character,
Right.
and especially as Nico, I can say, if Hitler had microwaves, the Holocaust would have gone much faster, and then get a hate letter from somebody. You know, so you know you can, but you can say, you know, or about the Holocaust, like, oh, it's funny now.
This is probably the only show I think that we will ever do where we have literally mentioned the Holocaust
14
10
times.
times.
Well, it's you know, it's a like, look, Mel Brooks made a whole career out of
That
it.
is
I mean,
true.
you know, so.
Listen,
And Mel
History of the
Gibson
World
lost
Part
the whole
One.
career. Lost the whole career over
I
it.
know. That's something that do you have I was raised Jewish, but not religious per se. We did the big holidays, but do you feel like I can't watch a Mel Gibson movie because I'm betraying something, or just because it's
Young
bad?
Mel Gibson, no. Old Mel Gibson, yes.
I love it.
Like
She's
Lethal
like,
Weapon, yes.
You're very like a
we're
man. You're
up-
like when he was fuckable.
When he
I
was
can
fuckable,
completely
I don't
watch
care
it.
if he's in the Klan.
But
now,
Apocalypto,
I'm
you
not,
can't.
now I'm
If
not.
it's in
I'm
Aramaic,
not
then-
fucking with him. But the Year of Living Dangerously, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I need to know.
Yeah.
What does Marianne think about you
Oh.
doing Marianne?
Well, when I did Marianne, so to speak, a few years ago, and she heard about it. When she first heard I was doing Broken English, which was the first thing I did at Lincoln Center, the first thing I did, she said, "Oh, she's doing Broken Biscuits. Why can't they leave me alone?" That's what Hal Wilner, her producer, that's what she refers to Broken English as. So
People
then
are taking selfies of us, by the way.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
good.
I
Yeah.
feel like, you know.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Don't you love when people are austere about their really big hit
they're-
record? It's always like, ugh.
A
That
radio,
one.
a
Yeah.
Radiohead.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Oh.
the Bends.
Right. Oh.
You mean your only listenable record?
I know. Yeah.
The record that everybody knows me for.
Mary J.
God.
Blige. Ugh, My Life. You mean
No,
your
she's
best?
no, she's always good about My Life. She just did that whole My Life tour. It was amazing.
Yeah, but it took her a minute though.
You know, it was
Wasn't she?
amazing.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't. I've never heard her diss My
Okay.
Life. She loves that
Okay.
record.
Never mind.
Yeah,
All right.
that-
Yeah. Oh, so I don't even know where I am now.
So she said Broken
so she said
Biscuits.
Broken Biscuits. So then I heard a friend of my friend Penny Arcade knows Marianne.
Who's amazing, Penny
Yeah,
Arcade.
she
I
is
know that
amazing.
name. Yeah,
She's
I know that
amazing,
name.
and she said she tried to talk to Marianne about me, but it wasn't like a non-starter. She didn't want to hear about it. So I thought, all right, I won't do it. I did it. We got a lovely review in the Times in 2016
Yeah.
about, you know, for the first Marianne Cabaret show. And then last year I realized, I always try to think of random connections that I can kind of loosely tie a show to. 2019 is the 40th anniversary of Broken English. I will write to Marianne
God, is
on
that album
Facebook.
40 years old?
Yeah,
I know, right?
And so I know.
I'm
And it
old.
sounds.
It sounds
It sounds
incredible.
amazing.
Nothing aged.
No, I have it on
about at all.
vinyl. It's one of those records that never leaves rotation in my house.
No.
I
Yeah.
play that album all the time.
And Barry Reynolds, who's her co-writer on that, plays with me, and
Yeah.
he's playing with me in a
Or as you put it, Barry Reynolds, who's a lovely man. He is her co-writer, but how does you as Marianne describe the partnership in the songs? It's very funny.
Oh, I forgot. You know, I wrote them.
Right.
You know, he probably he says put a chord here, something like that. You know.
Yeah, she
You
takes
know.
complete credit
Well,
for the
yeah,
song.
for like she's like Times Square, the song Times. You know, that's my version of New York, but Barry wrote it. You know, so I hope she's not listening because I do love. And she. So then I wrote to her on Facebook, and I had spoken to
He's
her
back
about a
around
year
again.
before. Oh,
He's
it's
back.
Robert Smith again.
It's Robert Smith's coming around.
Maybe because we're not
he's
talking about the
security. He
cure.
walks around.
Yeah, I know.
I really think he has to be. Either
Yeah.
that or he's in
Yeah.
Columbine training camp.
So, okay, I'm going to do what they call, it's not even a humble brag, it's a brag. Okay, I got her a job, okay?
Uh-huh.
Not really,
Marianne?
sort of, I guess. I sound like such a douchebag. But
I always say this: facts are facts, honey.
Facts are
people
facts, all right.
people tend to not like them, but
Yeah.
facts are
Okay,
facts.
So I
Rita
was-
Ora is going out on tour with Marianne. It's okay.
I know, so Russ,
Yeah, she's the tour bus.
you know, yeah, so I did, yeah, she is. The college and tour bus.
Right.
You know. So I became friends with the producer Russ Titleman, and he was saying to me, I just recorded this classical pianist, and she wants to record Blake on top of one of the pieces, and I don't know who I should use. And I said, we have to use Marianne Faithfull. And he's like, that's a great idea. I was
Yeah.
thinking Meryl Streep or Emma Thompson, but no, Marianne. And he said, how do I get a hold of her? I said, well, don't mention my name
Right.
don't
Because it'll be a non-starter.
Yeah,
Right.
non-starter. Do it through
Click.
Hal Wilner or something.
Right.
So she did it. And then
Oh,
Penny
wow.
told her that, you know, it was me. And so when I was at Penny's about a year ago, Marianne called her, and she put me on the phone, and I'm like, oh my God, she's like, Tammy. She's like, I'd like to thank you so much for doing.
Is that the first time you had actually spoken to her?
Yeah, and
Wow.
the only time. And so then she said, and I'd love to hear your Nico. So I sent her like a clip of Nico of and she wrote, great. And I'm sure she didn't watch it because I don't watch people send me. I'm like, you're fantastic. But like,
Wait a minute, is that how you listen to our show?
No, because I was talking about the Ben Domenech moment and the Learning Channel thing.
Oh, the
Oh
Learning
my
Channel.
gosh, she's learning.
I'm going to my grave with that one. I don't
then
care.
Marianne wrote back. I wrote her like last November saying, "Would you mind if I did Broken English because it's the 40th anniversary? If you don't, I won't. It's fine. I love you either way." And she wrote back, and she wrote, "Oh, do it, darling. It'll be great." So
Fabulous.
I thought, okay.
But you had done it because I'm pretty sure I saw you do Broken English. Because I remember Kurt Loder was there and David Fricke at Joe's Pub.
Yeah,
so before that.
It was. I did Broken English.
In Russian.
Yeah.
Don't
You have to
say
say
it
it.
in
Oh,
German.
it's
Say it in broken English.
Okay,
I
thank.
love
Now we
this
have to
question.
pay ASCAP.
no,
Are
only
you
8.
fucking
No,
paying?
it's under 8 bars.
Yeah,
It's under 8 bars, so you can.
Thanks, Courtney.
There
And,
goes-
and there was no music.
That's true. Good
There
Yeah.
was
part.
no music.
Good part.
That's right. So so I did do Broken English because then I did it. We did it at Lincoln Center. Then we did it at Joe's Pub, and that's
Right.
when David Fricke came and Kurt Loder and Anthony
How did,
Curtis came.
how did the audiences respond?
Oh
They
my
loved
God,
it.
they love it.
Yeah.
They loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it's like, oh God, back in the day they loved it.
Right.
No.
Oh God, they even loved it this time.
But what's great about the shows is, I
It's
mean,
great
obviously,
music.
if you
It's great
know
music.
the album,
Yeah.
obviously, it's great. But she puts such her own spin on it,
Right.
vocally, but also she's, as you can tell,
No.
she's a very funny person.
Right.
So she puts a spin on it and then we'll go into the album. You're suddenly like, and it reminded what it did for me, especially with the Broken English song. It remind me just how great that album is.
Oh, it is such a great album.
Listen, to me,
Yeah.
I consider it a masterpiece.
No, it is.
Me too.
I
No,
consider
it
it
is.
an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's one of those albums that is timeless. You can put it on. You might not know when it was made.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it has any timestamp on it at all.
Absolutely.
No,
it's
it's-
great work. It's a seminal work for her, and I think it's one of those records that everybody, if you are a fan of music, if you're an open person about music, if you're not one of those people who's stuck on genre and you never listen to anything Marianne Faithfull, I would always say start with Broken
Well, it's
English.
but the thing is with her, I was to say that it's a career-defining and also a career-introducing record at the same time. Because
Right.
if you had never heard of her before, this record would galvanize you. If you were aware of the backstory and had read her book and stuff like that, then it's a fantastic. Will she be our friend?
Because that
Oh, I
wasn't the
think so.
first
She's-
album of hers from that period.
Oh,
but that
not
was
at
the
all.
one.
That was the
Well,
one.
that was the one.
that
That was the kind of comeback because
Yes.
she had done. She had recorded when her voice started to change was around '69 when she recorded Sister Morphine because she wrote the
Right.
lyrics to that, and then Mick Jagger produced it
Right.
and played acoustic guitar in it, and then it was pulled off the shelves according to her because it was a woman singing about drugs.
Right.
So then. When she and Mick broke up and she was living on a wall in London being a junkie, then she...
On a wall.
On a wall.
On a wall.
Yeah. So
Just want you to get that image in your
on a
mind.
wall,
On a wall.
without teeth. Apparently, she was brought in to do this album called Rich Kid Blues or Rich Kids Blues. I don't know if it's a Rich Kid or, but it's great. She covers like It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, Visions of Johanna,
Right.
Chords of Fame. Sad Lisa, she covers all this stuff, and it's a beautiful album. And her voice is already it's already
Right.
down there, but
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
little
yeah.
sweeter.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she does this. They had this kind of what I would call a English country album, which doesn't quite gel, but I think it's great.
Right.
And then in '79, she'd been working with a band, and she did the 2 demos with Barry Reynolds and Broken English and Why'd You Do It, which was a poem
Right.
by Heathcote Williams, who just died. But that's a song that you still can't play on the radio.
Right.
I think even now.
Yeah.
I don't know if every
What's
time
radio?
I see your, I don't know.
heard of
because
it.
like my dad.
It's a place that plays 4 songs by the same artist
Right.
in rotation every hour now.
Right. Got it. Thank you. I was confused.
Oh, okay, good.
No, it's okay. I forgot to.
I don't know what radio is.
So do you want to talk about some albums that have meant something to you?
Yeah,
and
why?
some things?
We were
Billie
kind of
Eilish.
curious, like what.
Billie Eilish.
Well, we talked about, we were saying.
Bad guy. You're a bad guy.
You know what? I will say this in her defense, and again, first off, I like the fact that she's not dressing for the male gaze. I like the
Yes.
fact that she's just. And I work with young African American and Latino children, and they love her.
Well, I think
They
that
love her. They think she's cool.
she taps into some kind of
And the songs
you know,
are good.
It reminds me of like girls. I always think of girls writing poetry and writing in their diaries. Like my
That's me,
generation.
but
And I feel like if
Yeah.
you're a girl who's talking about the things that it doesn't matter your race.
Right.
I believe young people
People are
go through
taking
certain phases and periods in their life, and I think she's tapping into that
Totally.
thing, the
Yeah.
stuff that the young girls write. So they're like, these are things that I think, and
But
she's
for-
Yeah.
putting,
yeah.
and
you
the
know?
ennui. I think there's
Yeah.
something
Listen,
the
a
exhaustion.
the world, you can never have enough mopey teenage girls.
yeah.
I mean, that's just it's a type
I mean,
you're
we
always
see
going to have.
Robert Smith walking
Robert
around
Smith is
here.
walking around, but I can't be mad at her. I mean, is it calculated? Of course, everything's fucking calculated.
Listen, it's the music business. Emphasis on business.
Yeah.
They need something that they can sell and market, and they want it to be mass. And she's this moment.
I was actually going to talk about her new single.
Okay.
You want to talk about
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that
talk
we're
about it.
listening to now,
No,
or
no,
you
no.
want to do the
You
in
know
the
what?
past?
You can. Let's just mix it up. At this point,
Yeah.
let's just let it
You
go.
want-
And then whatever we don't get to with this, kids, you'll just have to come back for our year-end show.
Our
which
year-end show,
which
Oh.
will this show that you're listening
You
to.
can be a call-in.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, we can totally do.
Oh, you
We
could?
can totally do call-ins.
You could also
now.
do
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
a decade end show because this is the
Well,
don't even.
you know
God,
what? Then I think we
that
should
makes
save all
it-
of it.
Yeah.
You know what, kids? We were going to give you. We have.
But we are fluid. We are like Billy D. Williams.
Why'd they do that to Billy D. Williams?
I know. Why
did
did
it?
it?
Yo,
Why?
I'm like
I
Billy
know.
D. Williams is like 83 years old, and I feel like
know.
that GQ shit was clickbait to be like.
No, it was totally
They were like
clickbait.
Billy D. Williams says
Gender
he's
fluid.
gender fluid.
What
I'm like,
83-year-old man? The only
I'm like, you
83-year-old man knows about
motherfuckers. Y'all are
fluid.
rotten motherfuckers. You
noticed
know
that
exactly what you were doing
in
with
the
that
article
headline.
the pronouns were he. So
Right.
I mean,
Because he's talking about being a man who's in touch with
With
his
his
masculine
feminine
side
side.
and his
Yeah.
feminine side and being able to embrace that.
Listen.
And they're like, Billy D. I'm like,
No
guys.
83-year-old
Yeah, I know.
man knows what a fluid is unless
No,
it's
they
going
don't.
in his
Half
Exactly.
the 40-year-olds, if you ask a 40-year-old,
They don't know what it means.
they don't know what gender fluid is. So I felt like that was really bad clickbait
When
and
you just said gender
unfair.
fluid like that, it sounded icky and visceral. You're
Well, you
really
know.
waiting for that hot guy to walk around. And
No,
so
listen.
you can have
you
some
know what I'm
gender
actually
fluid.
no, you know
Yeah.
what I'm actually waiting for, and this is going to be really terrible. A quarter pounder with cheese, because everybody
Oh.
knows I still like McDonald's. I
All right.
do, and people make fun of me, but I'm like, fuck it, I want a quarter pounder with cheese.
you're loving it.
Is there
Anyway.
is there anybody that you're is there anybody you're listening to right now? I mean, any of the current stuff or anything you're listening to? Just fake it.
okay,
Tammy.
yes. You know what? Besides listening to Paula White Kane's sermons from YouTube, that I've downloaded,
Don't
I
stop
really
believing,
like-
Tammy.
I like
Don't
that-
stop believing.
that's she doesn't care that her husband's in Journey. She said that she doesn't care. It doesn't make a difference. But
No one else cares that her
I know.
husband's in jail.
I like. I know this isn't new or hip, but I love Miranda Lambert.
She's
No,
great.
she's
Wild
great.
Card.
Wild Card.
Yeah, it's a great
that
album.
Locomotive song
She's
is
great.
great. I love everything
She
she
is
does.
way too cool to have
She's
ever been
so-
married to
I
that
know.
doofus.
She's so freaking good, and
He's
she's
a
so freaking
doofus.
badass. And
Yeah,
I
he's a
actually like
doofus.
the BB Rexa song "You Can't Stop the Girl."
Yeah,
I
she's
think
good.
that's pretty.
She's from Staten Island too, which
Yeah.
is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And then, Amy keeps trying to shove Halsey down my throat, but
Oh,
I
no,
just
I
don't
can't.
see
Let me tell you
it.
something.
I can't with the Halsey.
can't.
No,
Yeah,
I know,
I
but
don't
I like her new
understand.
single, but I'm not even going to talk about because I'm not in the mood for reviews. All right, let me talk to you.
No, you.
No, I'm not.
You're safe here.
I'm not gonna. I'm not having the Halsey fight today. I'm not gonna have the Halsey fight. I'm gonna have a fight about somebody else. So
Celine
here,
Dion.
well, that's a whole. We'll talk about that later. Okay, there's an article about her on page 6 today.
They better not be talking about my Celine.
We'll talk about it off
Celine.
camera. Well, because I don't want to watch your head explode. Okay.
I
Here's-
actually got somebody upset because I told them that I liked her version of River Deep Mountain High.
You two should get married
And-
after the show, okay?
Okay, no, well,
Yeah.
not that. I hate her version of that.
I know. I hate it too,
Like-
but I love it in a weird way.
She's got some weird moments, and I'm like, this is terrible, but
She's
secretly
French
I smoke a
Canadian.
joint and I like
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
This is who I'm loving right now. I
Okay.
even made a list. I did
Okay.
research. I love the new Tiana Taylor single. I'm a huge
And
Tiana
you
Taylor.
are a which shocks me that you're such a huge Tiana
I am.
Taylor.
Well, you know, I like to
You
be-
know,
All right,
I don't
here's
care
why
about
I
her
love
music, but I want her to win.
I want her to win.
Me too.
First off, she was married to a former Nick.
She's still married to him.
Well, but he was a former Nick.
Yes,
So
mhm.
I love her for that, and I feel like she's someone who is super talented and has always been. Her records have always been fucked over by stupid male producers.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is not an amazing song. It's called "We Got Love," but I want her to win.
I do. I want her to win it.
Okay. I am legally obligated to mention Harry Styles every single. Do you
There's a
love
new
him?
single.
There's a new single.
What's it called? Adore You?
Adore You.
Yeah, Adore You.
Okay. It does. Do you love him?
Did
do
you
not?
have you seen the shitty
No.
reviews for that other One Directions record? Which one? The Liam?
Oh,
I think
he's
Liam-
horrible. Who
Oh.
cares about
His
him?
the
Oh,
reviews
no, I
have
wasn't.
been
I missed-
You're not a
I
1D
missed-
girl?
No, I'm not a 1D girl.
I wasn't
Neither
a
am
1D
I.
girl either.
Yeah, I'm not
but I
one.
love Harry Styles, and no one has worn a high-waisted pants like that since David Bowie.
Okay.
David Bowie was great. You know,
But
I
I-
have to say, I
this-
didn't love him doing "Stop Dragging My Heart Around" with.
Yeah, that
Stevie.
wasn't
He
great.
didn't
But that's
have
not
the-
his fault.
No.
That's
You know?
not his fault.
It's
He
just
didn't.
not a good song for him.
No, but I thought
And she sounded great.
she
This-
did sound great.
the song is not amazing, but it doesn't. What I have to say is that he has now released 3 singles, none of which sound the same. And this
Right.
3 singles in a space of 2 months, that's either the record is amazing or they're in
But,
trouble.
but no, that's the new way now. Like
Is it?
It's you have to constantly feed the beast in this new streaming world. You have to feed the beast.
Well-
you notice everybody comes with multiple songs really quickly.
Well, my only reason.
Unless you're like Adele, right? Adele comes and she's got Hello,
Right.
and everybody's singing that shit
How
for
many
5
years
months.
to the next album?
soon
Well-
she's
well-
getting divorced. She has a
Well,
new
the
coming
record
out.
I believe is, I think
They're working on it.
and
Yeah.
doing all that shit. It's supposed to be a 2020 record.
But
Okay.
here's, as you know, Courtney and I do this show because we love music and we love each other and we love talking. But really, at this point, we want Harry Styles and Pet Shop Boys tickets.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait a
Wait a
minute.
Oh.
Wait a
Let's
minute, Miss
screw
Thing.
talking.
Wait a
guy-
minute, Miss Thing.
Wait, you don't
We
even
gotta
know
get.
to talk
we
about
gotta
it.
get
Yeah,
to the
really.
most
Well,
important
fuck.
thing.
Okay, wait a minute.
No.
I'm throwing the
So-
playbook out. Who
Oh,
cares
no,
about
don't
new
do-
music?
Motherfucking Tammy Faye Starlite, who
All
was
right,
sitting
wait a
across
minute.
from me,
Tammy Faye
sang on
fucking-
2 different nights for Neil and Chris.
Okay, and Tammy,
Yeah.
I
For
want to say
Neil
that
and Chris.
you and I have
They
known
came
each
2
other
nights in a row.
for quite
Yeah.
some time, and you're a fan of the show, and that I had to hear this through Ben Merlis.
Well,
The cold chilling book. Pick
Yeah,
it up.
Great.
All right, Neil and Chris discuss. Go.
It's not too big of a story. Forgot
Make
who,
it a big story.
Okay, somebody brought them when I was doing my Nico show.
Right.
It was at the what was that theater called? Oh my God, my senility.
The Pantages.
The Pantages at.
Really? I just
no,
pulled
it
that
was
out of my
not.
ass.
It was somewhere in Silver Lake,
Uh-huh.
and it was, that I'll remember.
It doesn't matter
tomorrow.
because it's a
But
shrine
anyway,
now.
so they came, and I thought, oh my God, they were there. And then somebody said, I
Did
didn't
you
even
see?
see.
Did you look out and see them when you were singing?
No.
Oh, so you didn't even see them.
I didn't really see it. I kind of looked, and then I saw, and then the next night, somebody was like, they were there again. They came back. And,
Wow.
And then actually, I saw them. I was doing this woman. She has hosts this comedy show.
Wait a
in
minute.
LA.
Wait a minute. 3 times?
3
you've
times. The next time, I didn't even know that they were going to be there. It was
Uh-huh.
this woman who does these comedy shows in LA on Sunday nights, and I happened to be there on a Sunday night. I did Nico, a Nico song, and Neil came up to me, and
Wait a minute. Can Courtney and I just soak this in for a second?
And-
Like a Calgon
I
bath.
work with so many stars. All that. I don't really care about shit. I would care if fucking Neil and Chris came
Oh,
up to me.
they
No.
were so. I just
love
remember
them.
that they were so sweet.
They're
Yeah.
so nice. I interviewed Neil Tennant on the phone once for a bio, and then I actually interviewed the 2 of them once, and they were having tea at the Pierre Hotel. And as far as I'm
Oh.
concerned, I was like, we're done. Like,
That's so beautiful.
but I was reading
I love the
the
Pierre.
I know, right?
It's
I was
gorgeous.
reading the Buddha of Suburbia, and I walked in, and he goes, "Oh, I love that book. And then he told me, I told Courtney this, he told me this fabulously dishy story about George Michael that I can't for the life remember
Oh my
because
God.
they ripped him a new one.
Really? Because
that
my
was
friend
that
is
period
writing
where
a,
everybody-
my friend James Gavin, who I mentioned earlier, he's writing a book about George Michael, and he's finding it. He was finding it hard to get people to talk.
No,
He's got-
his really good friends like Pepsi, Shirley, Martin,
Yeah.
and Andrew. You know, they're very protective of his legacy. I don't know, like, I'm sure there are people who are going to talk.
Yeah,
but
he's
it's
got,
a-
and he just is going to see. I think he might have gone. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school, but he's gone to see somebody who was his very close friend, a
Yeah.
woman, an Asian woman. Am I?
With the girl and the,
The
father
girl-
friend?
the
And the girl and the
that was-
father
that was
friend?
his
you're
girlfriend. That was
Yeah,
his girlfriend. What's
it
her
might
name?
be.
Yeah.
It might be her that he was going to see. I'm
Let's
not
get back
sure.
to the Pet Shop Boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the important thing. Other than so you lost your mind. They're incredible. They're the best. Have you ever seen them perform?
I never have. No,
Amazing.
but I don't go out very much.
It
so-
doesn't matter. They'll come to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Was there any was there talk of like maybe collaboration?
No, and I had to afterwards. If I thought of it, because there was Nico did a duet. She rarely did them, but because why would they wouldn't ask her? She did a duet with Mark Almond called "Your Kisses Burn," and it would
Do
be
you know
such
this song?
No, but I'll go look
It's
it
Yeah,
up.
we're
really
saying
good.
if
And
you can
No.
stump
the
Courtney.
way
Yeah, I know that
that
one.
the way that he sings, I can hear Neil Tennant singing it,
Right.
and Nico, and it's like "Your kisses burn." You know, it's like really, really deep, but it's great. And I thought, oh, that would be a good thing to do with the Pet Shop Boys, but I can't,
Yes, you can.
I mean, I would.
Yes, you can.
I've Lucy Ricardo'd my way onto so many gigs and so many things. It's like, please let me in.
But
please
they're
let
really
me
nice
in.
guys.
You're like,
They
I just
are.
happen to have this outfit on and my makeup
Right.
and hair
Yeah,
done.
I know. That's right. I do.
hit it.
Yeah, I know. That's why sometimes I can't go out very much because I have to get hair and makeup
Right.
done. Otherwise,
Right.
That's
Courtney.
Courtney and I have.
I
the
am
Yes,
not
I
Alicia
same
Keys.
problem.
No.
Well, you
Same
know,
problem.
kids, it's around that time.
Oh no, we
it's
have
around
to
that
end.
time.
All right, so we always end things with a segment that we like to call
What stupid shit that Megan
"What
McCain
Stupid."
said.
Oh,
Say.
God,
but
I
this
love-
time we're actually not going to talk about her in particular because
Well, it's not always about her. It's just
it's
the name
about
of the
stuff that's pissing us off.
and we can you feel free to join in. You can have your own. For me, what I want to talk about is the war on the poor people and working class people of America
So
with
fucking
this
infuriating.
new, well, not a new rule, a rule that has been around for a long time, which is now really being implemented.
But now they're enforcing it.
With the SNAP program and food stamps. Here's the thing. A lot of people do work. There are
Yep.
a lot of people working.
Yep.
But there are a lot of people,
And they're working
And I love
poor.
that we get to see, everybody screams numbers. But I know people who are teachers then also have another job on the weekend
I have
because
3
they can't pay their bills. I know people who have jobs that are giving them 20 hours so they don't have to give them insurance,
Right.
and they need insurance. So it's really disingenuous to say, well, this will save the country money, and to try to now kick a bunch of people, and they're going to be kicked off because what people don't understand is this is happening. This is not, oh, we gotta vote. On January 1st is going to happen in some states, and then April 1st everywhere.
Well, I work.
And why is there a war on poor
Well, you
and
know
working
why.
class people in this country? And I think that it's going to be really interesting when this kicks in, because I do think that this will affect
his base.
a lot of his base.
Well, I mean, I work.
do I say I
because-
hope it does or I hope it doesn't?
Well,
Well,
Because-
I know what you mean.
Well,
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
it's a really hard
It's
thing,
the
right?
same reason we're all
Because-
hoping for an economic decline.
Because what you
Yeah.
want is people to wake up and say, "Oh,
this man doesn't give a fuck
he
about
don't."
me.
Listen, poor people in this country. It's even the Democrats. I look at them. I only hear people talking about the middle class. The middle class. I'm like, guess what? That's a really small portion. I don't know how my parents owned a house, 2 cars, put me and my sister in private school. My father was a cop, and my mother worked in administration in Bear Stearns and then had her small little catering business. Today, I don't know how people do that. You know what I mean? And own a home and both their kids went to private school and to college. We went on vacations, but that was the 80s, 70s,
Right.
80s. Now it seems like I know people with kids and every dime is allocated to something. And so to see them saying, oh, well, we can save $5 billion off of the backs of the most vulnerable people
they're
in this
not gonna-
country.
well,
And we're
that's-
talking about food, which is I think it is a fundamental right to be able to eat. We are the richest nation in the world.
Well, I mean, it gets down to, and again, the cynicism of this administration and the exploitation. Because I volunteer, and then I'll get into which is not as serious as his, but I volunteer every week at a soup kitchen because I am a saint.
You are.
I am a
think
saint,
that's
and the
great.
food's really good, and I take it home with me. I do. There's, what we call food insecure. So it's people who may not be starving, but I've been on food stamps before. There have been times where I've had to tap into the system, a system that those people are paying for, by the way.
Right.
Their taxes, it's not like they're handing them something.
Ugh.
But anyway, fuck yeah. All right, well, my bitch, Trader Joe's has discontinued my cereal. I'm gotten over that. I'm very upset about it. But I want to talk about, I have been a subscriber of Vanity Fair since the Tina Brown era.
Oh.
And I am very appreciative of the fact that the new Vanity Fair doesn't have half-naked women on the cover. I'm very appreciative of the fact that they put people of color and all sorts of interesting people and gay men and gay women. But this magazine is like, I have
shit.
had pap tests that are more exciting than
Oh.
this fucking magazine.
I used to love Very Fair.
There
I
is
always made sure
no
my
pop.
yeah.
No,
It's if you can do an interview with RuPaul and treat it with the seriousness as if you were interviewing the Dalai fucking Lama, it's a boring magazine. I can read it in 20 minutes.
And it looks like a pamphlet now.
It
and then-
really-
They all
Vanity
do.
Fair,
Yeah.
they really do. But Vanity Fair was my jam.
Oh my
It
God!
was
The
my
photography is
jam.
gone because they got rid of James Walcott. They got rid of Annie. They got rid of all the people who
Yeah, it was
cost
my
them
jam.
money.
Right.
Well,
And it's-
Graydon left and the
It's
whole
all
thing
di-
revamped and it became something. It's not even interesting anymore.
Monica Lynch, ex of Tommy Boy Records, one of the great women in the music industry, used to talk about herself being a mag hag, and I had never heard that
Oh, I
expression.
like that.
Mag hag, right? A girl without her magazines
Oh,
is a day without sunshine,
I
as
know.
far as I'm concerned.
I
love a magazine.
Yeah.
And this is just disappointing. I'm very disappointed. So
Yeah.
thank you, Megan McCain. I'm
Yeah,
sure you
I
had
know.
something to do with this, you fucking bitch.
Thank you,
Tammy-
sir, for clapping.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I guess we have to go to a commercial
Yeah.
now.
Fine. No, I don't want to say it.
And then the best is when the Whoopi's like, hold up. This is what what we're not going to do today? We're not going to do I'm not saying this to shut you down.
You know what I
I'm
think
saying
we-
this so you can be heard.
I think we should do an entire show
guys
where
don't
we
have a
cut.
bell.
No, we have a buzzer though, right?
Okay.
we have, let's see, we
I
have
think yeah, that's good. I think what we should do is one whole show where we just cosplay The
the
View.
view.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. I'll be Joy.
Oh yeah.
No, why do you get to be Joy?
All
All right, I'll be Anna Navarro.
You're going to be,
Oh, you can be-
no, you,
I'll be
no,
Anna
you got
Navarro.
to do, you have to do Megan.
No, we have to get a real white girl in to do Megan. I want to be Anna Navarro, but that
One of
means
my
I only
husband's
show up
favorite
on Friendly.
comedians,
I hate
Tim
Anna
Dillon, does Megan.
I
Oh,
hate
bring her-
Anna Navarro on that
Yeah.
show.
Oh.
I don't know why.
I
like
just don't
her-
wanna be
I
Abby
used to like her
Huntsman.
on CNN.
My husband
Because
hates her too.
I didn't marry the first man
Abby
I had sex
Huntsman
with.
doesn't
so-
want. Abby Huntsman doesn't want to be Abby Huntsman.
I
She's
know.
always just like, and then the
I
skin and my
mean,
children and the
I think.
It's so sad.
But then when Russia comes up, she's like, "Okay, I know about this.
Because
I
my
know
dad,
about because
yeah,
of my
yeah,
dad."
yeah.
I lived there.
And I'm
I
like,
just
she's
went,
so pretty though.
there
She is
is-
very pretty.
There
Really
is
pretty.
just something. Nothing
All right,
says
this is the
America.
never-ending show.
Oh wait, they would say nothing says America like two Republican women whose fathers were famous politicians who have top jobs complaining about nepotism.
Yeah,
And-
I know.
And with that being said,
Well, okay, yeah,
'cause
all
this
right.
show, this show is about to be 19 hours. Listen, kids, we got a great show coming up. Our last show, which will be dropping on 12/20. It is the end of a decade, so Amy and I just
which
got-
I didn't even know until
and yeah,
like 2
and we're
weeks
not,
ago.
and we're not really like
Me neither.
list people, but we're gonna talk about some
Yeah,
of
we're
our
not
favorite
list
records of all time, just past year in music,
I'm gonna name every guy who owes me money.
and we're gonna
Good.
talk about
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
and we're gonna talk about just
Like
whatever
Amy
we want to talk about,
Klobuchar's
wrapping the year up,
ex-boyfriends.
and
What?
Like Amy Klobuchar's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
So
Um,
listen, I'm gonna let you finish. It's presented in partnership with Listening Party. Follow the crew on Instagram at Listening Party Presents and at Canal Street Radio. Follow us on Instagram at ImmaLetYouFinish NY. Follow us on Twitter at FinishImma. Click on all of our shit. We're on Spotify.
Click your
We're
heels
on
3 times
SoundCloud.
together.
We're on Apple Podcasts.
And Courtney has taught
We're
me
on
how to
Google Play
post, so
Music.
we're posting good shit all the time.
And yes,
And we want
And
to
follow
thank
Tammy. What do you have?
Tammy,
Social?
yeah,
Where do you need
I
people?
have nothing. I'm
So
on
How do people
I'm-
follow you and know when you have
I'm
shows
on
coming?
Facebook.
Okay.
That's
She
my
is.
main thing.
Okay,
because
guys,
I,
well,
you know,
listen.
I'm older, so like.
No, listen.
you know,
Everybody's on. Motherfuckers are like, I don't do Facebook.
Yeah,
We're like, but
no,
you still have a motherfucking
and
account,
I'm not
bitch.
going
Go
to
on Facebook.
MeWe either.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy for
So
that.
good,
so
guys.
Instagram too, and
She's on-
Twitter, but nobody pays attention.
Go
to
to
my Twitter.
Instagram, Tammy Faye Starlite. Go to her Facebook.
STARLITE.
And
Yeah.
we love you guys.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you
so
guys for
Thank you,
much.
Tammy.
Oh my
Thank you,
God,
thank you
so
for
much.
having
Thank you,
me.
thank you, thank you,
Yay.
kids.
Everybody,
are
see you
great.
soon.
See you, see you, see you.
Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.